Hey guys, so kicking off the start of this week, we're going to talk about testimonies and the importance of utilizing them. So often, when someone starts or has an interest in building a business with Plexus, I feel like one of the main things or roadblocks that they run into is I don't have my own results yet, or I haven't noticed any changes yet, which a lot of times is completely normal because, as you may have heard when you started these products, or you've been told, they work internally and things don't happen internally to where they're going to affect you on the outside overnight. Some people do experience it, but it's not common. For example, I'm in the horse industry. My husband and we take horses for clients, and their health is our number one priority because a horse that is not healthy is not going to perform to their highest standards. And one of the things that is super important about a healthy horse is their gut. Crazy, right? Like super important to pay attention to a horse's gut health, kind of like us. And so one of the products that we like to use focuses on their gut health, healing their gut. And so often when we have a horse that is struggling and we put them on this regimen, they start to do better. However, I love sharing this with people who want to do Plexus for just a month and see how it goes or then be done, because the first thing you read on the package when you start this regimen for horses is they need to have a loading dose for 2 weeks. I think it's 2 weeks. It's a week or 2 week. A loading dose. Okay. So that means double the amount, right? And then for months following that, just a regular dose. Okay. And it says the standard time before seeing results, a full turnaround, is 90 to 120 days. Okay, you guys. So trying to build a business with this and waiting until you see your own results is costing you. It's costing you money. It's costing you a life change. And I'm here to tell you, you don't need your results yet to start a business. There are so many testimonies out there, real life, wholehearted testimonies that are incredible from these products that you can use and share. So I'm going to share with you how I like to personally share these testimonies and use them when I'm getting someone started or talking to a potential. So first of all, I like to share testimonies on my page, okay, on my Facebook page and even on my Instagram feed as well. I use stories a lot to share testimonies. These testimonies can be videos of someone sharing their stories, or they can even be just a picture and that person's written testimony, okay? I have noticed that longer testimonies can kind of lose people's interest. So I try to find testimonies that are written in a condensed form, but to the point. Okay. Um, Sometimes I will take someone's words and I will paraphrase them just to get to the point, right? Because I want people to see, especially if you're using a before and after, that in itself is powerful, but I want people to get to the point of what these products did, right? Um, Another really important way to share testimonies besides sharing it on your feed or showing it to a friend in person is when you're talking to someone getting started, whether honestly that is in person or if it's through Messenger or if you're using voice memos, okay? So I'm going to kind of walk you through an example conversation. So say someone's reached out to you about the products, or maybe you have sent them a reach out, they're interested. Um, the first thing that I like to do after having conversation and getting to know how what their life looks like, how they're feeling, what they're looking for, is I like to ask, well, what are you currently struggling with? What makes you feel like you need to have gut health support? Um, Something along those lines. And sometimes I'll list some symptoms to kind of give them an idea of what I'm asking. So maybe I'll say like, are you struggling with some digestion issues? Do you feel like your energy is super low? Like, I would really love a detailed response on, what you feel like these products could help change in your life. And so a lot of times I will get back because I talk to a lot of moms. I'm just so fatigued. I'm so tired. Some people struggle with IBS or constipation. I can't get up in the morning. Um, One that I recently talked to was she was living on Red Bulls and getting out of her bed was like conquering her in her own words, World War II. She was just so tired. And so when she gave me that specific situation, I went to our testimony page. So you need to take full advantage of our testimony page. It's Mountain Movers Open Range. We do it for you guys. We use it ourselves. There is incredible testimonies in there. I go to our Mountain Movers Open Range page and I search in the search bar Red Bull. I'll search low energy. I'll search any sort of keyword that's going to bring me up a testimony that is going to be relatable to this person. And after she's done sharing with me her testimony, I'm going to show her some empathy. I am going to have a conversation with her about what she's struggling with. I'm going to say, oh my gosh, I can't even, or maybe I'll relate with her. I at one time was living on Red Bulls, and girl, that crash is rough. How are you doing it as a mom of three kids? Like, how are you doing that? You've got to be exhausted, or how are you like, that's got to be so hard mentally to wake up every morning and just feel like you're already just crashed. Like, are you okay? Like, show them some true from the heart empathy. I really like to do that before I move on to my next step of sharing that testimony, because a lot of times when they share that with us and we're like, oh, hey, well, I have this that you can relate to, people can read into that sometimes. So show them some empathy, really put yourselves in their shoes and try to be like, man, that is kind of rough. Like, do you want to talk about that a little bit? Like, I'm here. I am here to support you. And you guys, talking about people and like letting them vent to you and letting them like really just share what's on their heart about what they're struggling with opens up a whole new level of trust. And that is going to trickle over into your experience with them as a coach, a mentor, if they're just a customer, as their helper. So anyways, you're gonna have that conversation, you're gonna empathize with them, you're gonna like just be their friend, but then you're gonna like look, you're gonna pull that testimony from the page. You're gonna say, hey, I have this friend, let's just make up a name. I have this friend, Melanie, okay, because it was Melanie's testimony. Um, I know that she's personally struggled with what you're going through. She had issues with that. She had, with Red Bulls, she was addicted to them. She took them every day. She hated getting out of bed. And whether you find a video testimony or a really good picture testimony, you're gonna say, I immediately thought of you, or I immediately thought of her when you were explaining to me what you're going through. And girl, she's been on these products for X, Y, however long, whatever the testimony says. A lot of times you'll know the people just because a lot of times they're jewels in the company or they're prominent, like they're people you just know of, right? Um, and you can just say she's been on the products for this long and this has changed in her life. Like her quality of life is so much different. So I'm going to share with you her testimony. Can you tell me, do you relate to that? You always want to end it with a question because you want them to say, yes, that is me. I can totally relate to that, because then you're like, okay, let's get you going on what she had. Like, what are we waiting for, right? So that is the power of testimonies. You guys utilize our team. I can't think of anyone that doesn't really have a strong testimony, okay? I have a huge inflammation and gut health change. Like the things I dealt with that I thought were normal are wild, and I've wrote about it. I've done video testimonies. Um, Another gal on our team, Angela Bonds, she has a great test. Everyone on this team has a great test. I've personally reached out to Angela and been like, can you do a little like write up? Do not be afraid to use that. Like use a friend, say, hey, could you take 2 minutes and like record a video of like everything you were struggling with and like maybe how this has helped you, because I have someone that I want to share it with. And I very much do not ever think someone would be like, no, because that becomes a tool that you can put in your toolbox. Our whole team can put in our toolbox and we can use, right? So don't ever underestimate the power of testimony. Or yes, testimonies. Sorry, I'm getting my words tongue-tied. And please do not ever think that if you are starting this business brand new and you're like, man, I haven't really seen my results yet. I really want to wait. You are costing yourself so much and you're costing others so much. The amount of people I personally have helped, the amount of people our team have helped that are struggling with issues that we may have never even have dealt with, but have helped through these products, I can't even imagine. So, and it all came from the use of testimonies, sharing that information and that data and giving people the belief of what these products could do for them. So, I hope you take that and run with it. I hope you enjoyed it. And we will see you tomorrow.